Have you ever wondered who scored the most free kicks in the Premier League? The likes of Marcus Rashford is probably going to feature in this list eventually, but for now, let's take a look at 8 players who scored the most direct frees in the top flight. Now, Berto Solano. Nobby Solano was probably one of the more underrated players of his era. The Peruvian spent 10 years in the Premier League, across 2 spells with Newcastle, and a season each with Aston Villa and West Ham. For a right winger, he was as slow as mustard, but give him a few yards and he could whip in crosses with pinpoint accuracy. A dead ball specialist, he bagged himself 9 free kicks during his time, with 7 coming during his time up north, and would probably have even more if he wasn't facing a battle with Alan Shearer and Laursen every time the referee awarded one. Morten Peterson. Here's a blast from the past. There was once a time when Morten Peterson was one of the stars of the Premier League, well, in the middle of the pack at least, and found himself being linked with a host of top clubs. Hardly surprising when he was battering in free kicks for fun for Blackburn Rovers. To be fair, the Norwegian was hardly prolific in front of goal. He spent nearly 10 years at Ewood Park and scored 35 league goals. 10 of those were free kicks, which is nearly a third for those of you too lazy to do the maths. Laursen. Whenever Laursen lined up a free kick, defenders knew if the ball didn't clear the wall, there was at least a 30% chance they wouldn't be having kids. To be fair, the Frenchman did have other techniques rather than smash and hope. He netted 11 Premier League free kicks for Newcastle, including one in a 4-3 win over Manchester United, a game famous for Roy Keane attempting to throttle Alan Shearer, and arguably the most famous of all, a winning strike over Liverpool in 2005, which we're all supposed to pretend was scored by Santiago Munez. Sebastian Larsson. Yep, bet you didn't expect to see Sebastian Larsson make this list. Then again, the former Arsenal man has been around forever, having spent 4 years at Birmingham City and then 6 at Sunderland. Let's be honest, Larsson is lucky he's a threat from set pieces, because if he wasn't, he'd probably be searching for work down the unemployment line. But Swede developed a knack for long range efforts, making up for his complete lack of tactical nous or ability to impact the game in normal play. His most memorable set piece was probably his last minute winning strike against Blackburn in Martin O'Neill's first game with Sunderland in 2012, stopping the winless run at 5. Cristiano Ronaldo. Alright Cristiano, before you think you're the god of free kicks, let's be honest, you've ballooned about 50 into row Z, just remember that you've scored the same amount of Premier League free kicks as Sebastian Larsson. To be fair, it's not surprising that Ronaldo makes this list, considering he demanded to take pretty much every free kick that was awarded to Manchester United. Developing his knuckleball technique, Ronaldo went on to score 11 free kicks for the club in the Premier League. Considering Ronaldo left the club at the age of 23 and was only 4 set pieces off the top, you can only imagine what sort of Premier League records he'd be setting if he'd stayed. Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry could do it all, and so it's no surprise to learn that he bagged 12 free kicks during his 8 years in North London. The Arsenal legend could blast them in from anywhere, but Jose Mourinho will definitely remember the Frenchman's cheeky set piece, popping it past Peter Cech in December 2004 while the Chelsea goalkeeper was still arranging his wall. Franco Zola. Franco Zola seems to be lost to the history books nowadays, with the influx of world stars at Stamford Bridge relegating his hero status just a little bit. The fact that he's been bumbling around as a failed manager hasn't exactly helped, I suppose. The fact of the matter is that the Italian was an exceptional player though, and his 12 free kicks for Chelsea certainly reflect that. David Beckham. Lads, if you didn't know this man was going to be sitting top of the list, shame on you. Probably the most famous free kick taker that has ever lived. He even has a movie named after his set piece abilities. David Beckham proudly sits at top of this list with 15 Premier League free kicks for Manchester United. No man was deadlier. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.